Chelsea have a registration problem after January transfer window spending spree. But their winter spending spree has presented the Blues with a Champions League registration problem. Chelsea are only allowed to register a maximum of 3 new players for the knockout stages of the Champions League before taking on Borussia Dortmund in the last 16, starting on February 15th. Clubs have to inform UEFA of their desired squad changes by 11 p.m. today, February 2nd. This deadline cannot be extended. UEFA will publish full list of ins and outs once they have been approved. All clubs are limited to a 25-man squad, and Chelsea used 24 players in the group stage, with only one of them, Jorginho, leaving the club in the January transfer window. Out of the 8 new players Chelsea signed last month, Malo Gusto is staying on loan at Lyon, and Andre Santos is waiting for work permits. Meanwhile, all the new signings can be registered in Chelsea's Premier League squad, as there are no restrictions on how many changes teams can make. However, there is a 25-player limit, so some of the current Chelsea squad could make way for the new arrivals. The Premier League's registration deadline is also on today. 25 players in the Premier League, obviously players who aren't 21 yet, can be registered. They don't even have to be registered, for the Premier League registration list that will be submitted. It allows for players from the academy to feature for the senior squad without having to be considered as part of the main squad. But in the Champions League, in the Europa, in Conference Cup registration lists, these clubs have to register no more than 3 new players. They can take old players out, but they just cannot register more than 3. And Chelsea have gone out and bought 8 players this past window. Players like David Fofana you don't expect will be expected to start on even, here he won't have any expectations to be part of the regular squad for the Champions League. So he's not a bother. Andre Santos hasn't gotten a lot of playing time, so until he gets work permit in England to play, he won't get to actually play any matches at all. Malo Gusto, the right back that they bought from Lyon, is going to stay in Lyon till the end of the season on loan. So those 3 players aren't essential. They don't have to worry about registering them. The remaining 5, 4 of them need to be registered, but only 3 of them will get the opportunity to be registered. And with only 2 spaces available, Chelsea will have to deregister someone to register somebody else. The most likely new player to be included is record signing Enzo Fernandez after spending £105 million on deadline day to get him. Meanwhile, the loss of Jorginho to Arsenal on the same day means Chelsea are light on midfielders who can play in the deep role. So even with Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Conor Gallagher, Mason Mount and Kovacic available to choose from, you can expect Fernandes will be registered, which leaves 2 spots. Benga, obviously Chelsea will find it very difficult, especially if they intend to try to sign João Felix in the summer, to convince him to accept not being registered for the Champions League squad. And they spend so much money on Modric, and the expectation around his potential is so high, they will need him if they are going to go as far as possible, which means somebody else is definitely going to miss out. Madueke won't be registered even though he's 20, but he has to have featured for Chelsea for 2 years as an under 21-year-old to qualify to be on the B list, which is a list of players who are under 21 and can be registered. But that leaves Badiashile, the defender, who has proven in the last 2 games he has featured, that he may be a better option, a more calmer option, a more sensible option in the heart of defense than Koulibaly. How do you see this playing out with Graham Potter trying to make the right choice and find the right balance for his squad?
So actually, I think the buying players or ascribing Chelsea to a team that is just going all out without purpose is overstressed, especially in the media. If you take a critical look at Chelsea, they've lost as much players as they've gotten. Starting from the summer, they lost virtually all their front line. Timo Werner went back to Liga, Lukaku went back to his loving club. Their squad player, Otibadoyi, is out of the club. You know, Tammy Abraham months ago, before this happened, on that school. And so, when they are not bringing in 3 or 4 attackers, it is to replace the people they lost. Look at the defense line. They lost about 4 defenders or 3. Rudiger, Christensen, Alonso. And you know the 6-man defense, which is literally a 6 center backs or with 1 left back. They got Kuela, they got Badiashile, they got Koulibaly. They even got in Fofana, who is yet to kick the ball. So they are actually bringing in players that they need. Look at the central midfield. They just sold Jorginho to Arsenal and brought Enzo Fernandez. Kante has been going in and out of injuries, brought in Dennis Zakaria. Even some Chelsea fans will say, yeah, he's slotting in well. Look at Chukwuemeka coming into the fold. João Felix on loan, definitely he will play. He won't have the right if
Wenger, sorry,
finally
Wenger,
he
please.
don't have the right winger.
Wenger,
sometimes they have mountain subsidizing. So critical look at the club, you would know that the players they are bringing in are trying to slot in.
All right, Wenger. There's an option here where they deregister perhaps one of their more unavailable players. Pulisic is out injured. Hakim Ziyech has gotten some games recently, but he shows flashes, but never has ever reached the level that is expected of him or the levels that he showed in the World Cup for Morocco. Between Hakim Ziyech and Pulisic, who do you leave in the squad and who do you kick out to make room for one of the 3 of the new players that they will register?
Well, on a scale, one would say Ziyech has performed better for Chelsea than Pulisic.
Okay.
Look at his contribution to the team, how he creates chances, his crosses, which is second to none in the entire Chelsea squad. I think Ziyech brings more to the team. Pulisic is one fragile player, no doubt his potential or ability, but he finds it difficult for fitness. If there's anything that is wrong with Ziyech, maybe his inconsistency or inability to speak to the level. But for Pulisic, it's all about fitness, all about unavailability, and has not what just need at the time when they need players at their beck and call. So I think yes, we saw it at the World Cup. Ziyech was more instrumental for Morocco than Pulisic was for USA. And Chelsea will do well with Ziyech better.
All right. Thank you so much, Beng. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Unfortunately, we've ran out of time. Hopefully, we can have you back on the show next time. Thank you, Benga. Have a nice day.
No problem. Thank you very much.
All right. And to everyone at home or at work, wherever you're having the opportunity to catch us on Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa, I have been your host, Mikhail Tinubu. Thank you for joining us. Remember, life is never boring with some sports. Enjoy the rest of your day.